Black Friday and Thanksgiving is here. And if you're looking to buy some cheap and reliable coins over this period, then please look no further than max.com. Now, guys, I've got to tell you, there's going to be some of the biggest discounts that you've ever seen on the website over this period. Don't forget to use my code Martin for that extra 8%. Link will be in the description. Hi guys, Martin88 here, and welcome back to another FC26 video. And today we are taking on Ultimate Squad Battles. Honestly, why? For a little bit of a laugh, because I know how hard everyone's been finding world class and legendary. I thought, let's steam in and do a how to beat Ultimate, just so everyone can see what it's all about and how much harder is it. Is it maybe not as hard as what we think, you know? So on screen you'll see I'm facing a decent team. I always go for a pretty decent squad. I don't ever do a 5 at the back on a video like this, but they'll always have decent chemistry, decent rating. And yeah, sit back, enjoy, and I'll take you through the game and try and point out some of the similarities and how it can actually be beaten.
Okay, ladies and gents, here we go. So, how to beat Ultimate. So, I've done a hell of a lot more Squad Battles content than I was expecting this year, but EA are the gift that keeps on giving, so here we are. Now, I know a lot of you might not be thinking, oh, I'm going to play on Ultimate, but I thought a lot of you would be interested. So, here we go. Got our first goal coming up right here. And what I want to draw your attention to is something that I put in my 5 top tips to how to beat Legendary. Because when you watch it all like this, it looks, yeah, nice and easy, nice and smooth. But the nitty-gritty of it, if you watch that goal back, is me using the basic skill moves. Now, this was one of my 5 top tips. Ball roll, fake shot stop, technical dribble, or one dribble, whatever you want to call it. And you see that in abundance in that first goal. You have to move the AI around, and you particularly need to do that if you're playing on Ultimate. And I did that, and it created us the space to be able to score that first goal nice and easy, along with having the pace in the team and all that type of stuff. And keep an eye on that across the whole of the game, where I'm trying to use those little basic skill moves to just manipulate the AI into moving where I want them to, or rather leaving gaps where I want them to. Like here, use the ball roll to come inside, and the pass doesn't quite get there. But if it did, I'm in a great spot. And I suppose that's something that to highlight is the stats and the power that Ultimate difficulty has, which we will touch on in a second, but I want to draw your attention to this. You see the defender, how he dragged out there? That's one of the differences with that new patch, which is awful. And then you see here, I do manage to win it, and I had to work so hard to not lose that ball. That is the exact type of situation where so many of you would just lose the ball there, and the ball ends up in your net. Especially on Ultimate, but still high-end Legendary, to be honest with you. If you lost the ball when that ball fell to me inside the box, you're toast. Yeah, but it's really interesting if you watch back and saw where that centre back come right out to the full back position. I bet a lot of you can relate to that, because that's definitely a change that's happened since that new patch, and I hate it. I'm good enough to move him back, but it's a pain in the backside. I can't deny that, Right, goal number 2. Lovely, lovely goal. Nice stuff. And again, if we watch that back, you'll see the use of the triggered run on the left back, to gain a little bit of space, and then looking for that little through ball into the corridor of space, which if you've watched my 5 top tips on how to beat Legendary, or you watched my video on how to score more goals, you would have seen bundles of goals like this. And so it just proves to you that it does still work, even on Ultimate difficulty. Sure, you need to be really sharp and really quick to make sure that you can do it and take advantage of it. Are you able to do it all the time? Absolutely not, but it still shows that it does work. It does work sometimes. Yeah, I'm into a 2-0 lead. I think it's probably quite important to point out that we're nearly at half-time, and they are the only 2 chances I've had on goal, and I would say that I've created both of them. Yeah, so the finishing does need to be top-notch, and I suppose it's an added sign of how hard EA have made Squad Battles. in that I've had 2 openings, and really I created them on my own. It wasn't, it wasn't necessarily the tactics or just the AI attack or anything like that. It was me, So yeah, the finishing has to be on point. Right, so coming up to half time here, and here we go. Managed to get the 3rd goal. Lovely. And it's the same kind of goal, to be honest with you, yeah? Where we get the ball into the cam, we look for that corridor of space between the full-back and the centre-back. They drag someone out of position. Now, I have to be honest here and say that that's the game giving that to me. When I say that to people, I think when I say, the game is giving you a goal, they take it the wrong way. But, if they move somebody out of position, we're going to capitalise on it. So we got into half-time, and it was 3-0, and we're into the second half.
Okay, so into the second half we are now. And, yeah, I must be honest, it's always surprising to be this far in front on Ultimate. But sometimes it's just how it goes. If you take your chances and you get fortunate at the other end, which I did there, it can work in your favour. Right, okay, here's goal 4. Now, some of you will say that this is lucky. I'm doing as much as I can to create that, okay? I triggered the run, I played the long ball, and I was using L2 to try and give as much physicality as possible to win that ball. I would still suggest that on a different day, the game won't let me score that. I'm just being honest with you, yeah? But this is the type of stuff that I understand about squad battles and always have, so I'll always try it. And sometimes you'll get it, and sometimes you won't. But I'm sure a lot of you are probably watching this because I always get these comments, which annoys me a little bit, but hopefully that doesn't encourage you all to make more of these comments. But you'll watch this and go, this doesn't look like Ultimate. But, it is, but I'm doing everything in my power to beat them. And it's just like knowing the mechanics and what works and what doesn't, and having a bit of luck, quite honestly, and just having a little bit of luck, because on a different day, they can punish you. And, I am doing a little bit of defending. Of course, I'm pushing them out wide, like I always tell you guys to do, and it's working. Obviously, my team isn't particularly good, which is my choice. But, we could... life could be made a lot easier if you've had better players. And I think that would be relatively comfortable to beat Ultimate. So, one thing I wanted to touch on, and I tried in the first half, but there was too much action, was talking about, like, the physicality of Ultimate, right? When you're playing against Ultimate, one thing that you understand is that you are inferior in every way, and it kind of helps because you don't expect anything. So, pace-wise, you are inferior. Physically you are. So, you're expecting to lose every physical tussle. You're expected to always be out-muscled or out-paced, all of that type of stuff. So that kind of helps your mentality in a way. This is their goal. They do score. You can see again, the flipping centre-back got pulled out of position. I'm trying to bring him back. I feel like that goal was covered, but that's just the way that it goes. You are going to concede goals, and I thought that was in the way to block it, but I wasn't, and they sneaked one in. Of course, as we know, it's more about scoring the goals than it is keeping the clean sheets. But, still a little bit annoying to concede one like that. But, it's good for you guys to see, 2 concede goals and the type of goals that are conceded, I was talking about, like, Ultimate and, the power that they have, particularly physically, right? And one of the other things is stamina. So when I'm using the kind of team that I've got, as the game draws on, I really notice that. You might say, why don't you put some subs on? Not really got that many subs that are suited for squad battles, to be fair. But it's another thing to take into account. And it could also be worth taking that into account if you're playing Legendary. So make sure that if you can, that you've got some really good super subs to bring on. Here, it was my first big chance to make it 5. The short story, is that, Adama Traore doesn't have much of a left foot. I've already scored 1 on his left foot. It hits the post. It was quite a tight angle. It's quite a lot to ask. And here is the biggest chance of the lot. And I just think I got complacent here. So I thought, woohoo, I'm tearing them open, you know, apart. And I thought, this one's just going to fly in, and it didn't. And I can tell you right now, that was my chance to get my 5th goal. The game won't let you create too much. And if we're being completely honest, I wouldn't, the one that hit the post, I wouldn't really class that as a big chance. But the one that I just put past the post was... And that was my last real chance to make it 5. And yeah, having a better player there potentially we would have tucked that away. But I still can't grumble with his input. Adama Traore is absolutely fantastic for squad battles, so I can't really complain. So we have to make do with the 4-1 victory, but it's still a very good guide to how to beat Ultimate for you guys, just to see what it's all about, So hopefully you enjoyed that, and we'll get back to the face cam. Okay, guys? So guys, there we have it. It can be done. You can beat Ultimate Squad battles, even after this patch from a couple of weeks ago. There is a noticeable difference. For me, it's more so with their attacking. But anyway, it's not time and place to get into that now. But if you did enjoy that, or took some tips out of it, or just respect for me for trying it, then please drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys very, very soon. See you later, guys. Bye-bye.